This is the price now. So I'm not sure how malicious this is, but I thought it might be quite fun to post. I used to work in a Cath Kidston shop in London, which for those that don't know the brand, CK is very floral vibes. Bags, accessories and very classically British style. When I moved to London, I joined a CK store from a different one, having already been a supervisor. This was a busier shop though, so I started at sales assistant until the following year I was a supervisor again. The day in question was a Sunday, and I was the only manager on shift. A woman came in with steep sense of purpose radiating off of her. She came to the till and laid down a quite frankly manky child's backpack. CK does these quite cute child-sized backpacks in all sorts of patterns like flowers, dinosaurs, anything. This one had looked into the abyss and stared back. It was so discolored. There was also some brown stuff scraped along the side as well, which was delightful. The woman proceeds to tell me that the bag is broken, and she wrongly assumes I am going to be extremely happy to help her. Even I cannot work miracles and return a bag which is definitely a few years old. It roughly goes like this. Me: I'm sorry. This is quite an old pattern, so I won't be able to do a return or exchange for you today. Her: but I just bought this a few months ago. It shouldn't have broken already. Me: it's quite possible you bought this at an outlet store, in which case you need to go to an outlet store to return as the prices would not match. Her: no, I bought this at full price. It was £30. Me: I'm sure this pattern is from 2014 or so it would not have been in store recently. Her: no, I need a refund or exchange. I bought it very recently. Me: do you have a receipt for a refund? Her: no, I bought it recently, but I don't keep receipts. Can't you just take my word for it? Me: I cannot process a refund without a receipt, unfortunately. It's policy. At this point I realize this bag is going to come out to pennies if I find the code for it somewhere inside. But without a receipt I can offer you an exchange or gift card. Her: why didn't you say that earlier? Me: okay, well, for an exchange that you say is broken, I need to take bag and record it as faulty. Her: wait, you're taking it? Me: if it is faulty it needs to go to the warehouse to be looked at, and I can find the product code to find out how much money you can get for your exchange. Her: well, okay, if this gets me an exchange you can take it. At this point I gingerly take this bag that is literally disgusting and open it up to try and find a SKU code on the label. This is the only way to get an accurate record of what the bag is when there is no receipt. Luckily, this bag had a SKU code, and by the first number I already knew it was an old bag. I type in the SKU into the till and this bag comes in at a whopping £5. She literally does not believe me that it is only £5. She walks around to my side and looks at me typing it in. She looks at the bag to read the numbers and tells me I can't read numbers. I type it in at least 20 times and each time it comes out at £5. The lady literally stands there debating with me for another 5 minutes about the price. She is clearly fuming. It's only £5 and is trying to figure out whether she wants to even do the exchange. She ends up buying 2 packets of hair clips and complains to me that this will make her daughter cry. I say thank you so much for coming and then proceed to show everyone I work with the backpack covered in poo. Note: and yes, with CK customer service style I did have to offer her an exchange. This ended up in a lot of customers being annoyed at the price now being changed, but they were always the ones who had no receipt and expected somehow to get £50 worth of an exchange when they bought a bag 2 years ago. That is not how time works. This woman probably saw the poo and was like, nah, I'm not cleaning that. I'm going to get an exchange and make it be their problem. Now she has to explain to her daughter. Why she doesn't have a backpack anymore. Hence the comment about making her daughter cry. There's a good chance the daughter didn't even know mom took her backpack. 15 years ago I bought a flashlight from Gerber made in the USA. I went on their site to order parts for it and discovered that they offered full-price credit for it. I looked to redeem the credit, $65 or so, and found something I wanted for $20 more. I wrote back and told them I'd keep my card handy for the difference if they would call. To my surprise, I found what I wanted in my mailbox. The whole thing was amazing. I had the same stuff at GameStop. Dudes want to exchange a game with no receipt. Say they bought it at another GameStop 2 weeks ago for $60. It's a several-year-old game we've been selling for $20 lately. I can't take your item as a refund without a receipt, but I can offer you $4 for trade-in credit. Only time I ever felt good telling somebody GameStop's abusively low trade-in values. Especially the same for computer equipment. I was at Best Buy when they wanted to start a program to buy old PCs. Some people would come in with brand new still-in-the-box laptops. But when it comes to electronics, not using them doesn't always retain value. $800 laptop and system says offer $20. She did get it quite recently. She found it in a canal. 30 years ago Elle was on the way to the airport before moving to Europe. I stopped at Eddie Bauer to get a new down jacket. I pointed out to the saleswoman that the one I was wearing had shrunk a bit with washing and one of the snaps had pulled away, ripping. I was pointing this out to let her know what I wanted different. I can't remember how old it was. At least a couple of years. Well, she says I could trade it in and get a credit towards my new one. I hadn't even thought of that. I don't know if she was new or if she did it correctly, but she credited me full price. I was surprised and happy on my way to Europe, cutting the tags off my new, almost free jacket. Open mouth smile. This sort of reminds me of the opposite experience. I took a totally unused bag back to Coach 2 days after buying it. Tags still attached. Because it ended up being too small and they refused to return it because I did not have the paper receipt. Forgot it at home. 45 minutes away. Even though I had the email receipt, the credit card used to buy it, and the salesperson was right there. Needless to say, I've never bought anything else from Coach. Honestly, offering £5 for a shitty trade-in years later is such excellent customer service. I don't know where people get off. The hell is this for £20 she was fighting with you? The Karens seem to be going international. These Karens that ooze their entitlement out of every orifice give me the chills. Yet, I get so much pleasure listening to people take them down a peg or two and they get their comeuppance smiling face with hearts. I thank you humbly for your wonderful story. Relieved face. I feel you. I used to work customer services in Currys. We'd get PPL trying to return TVs with obvious impact marks. If it was a cheap telly and nice customer, we'd ignore the damage and exchange it. But when you've paid £1,000 for a TV that your child has broken in a rage quit, that's not my fault. Manky. 1. Worthless, rotten, or in bad taste. Edit. Or just dirty. Would you take my word for it that I'm your long-lost child and could really use a $5,000 advance on my inheritance? Quote. I used to work at the defunct American retailer that was famous for their blue light specials. We could do returns for store credit without a receipt, but any item that was from 2 seasons or longer ago would show up as a value of 99 cents. I would often convince people to donate such items to a local charity instead of going through all the paperwork for their 99 cents. I just have to say how much I love Kath Kidston. I am currently carrying a Spitalfields navy blue shed bag that my mom wants to steal from me. Also, doing enough retail with people who do not have their receipts almost always turns out badly. She knew that bag was old and thought she was going to try to pull a fast one. Maybe her daughter was Amber Heard? Ma'am, I cannot take this. In fact, because you brought this foul excuse for a backpack into our store, I now have to shut the store down and bring in a hazmat crew. I worked at Macy's many years ago. I had a woman try to return a man's sweater that was at least 5 to 6 years old. It still had the ticket attached and it looked like it had been sitting in a grandpa's closet all that time. Bet she found it in a skip or something. Great story, but no malice detected here. I returned a few items to Hobby Lobby last week. Hobby Lobby is one of those places that has a weekly ad with half the store at 30, 40, or 50% off. So everyone knows not to pay full price for something. Wait a week or two and buy it at 50% off. If you return something without a receipt, you get the lowest price it's been in the last 60 days in store credit. I had 5 inexpensive items purchased over the last several years. I'm packing to move and found some craft supplies I never got around to using. So definitely no receipts. The clerk got someone from the craft department to verify they still sold the items they did. Although one item had changed packaging. So it was pretty clear I had bought it a long time ago. And I was honest about that anyway. She gave me a full price refund for everything. I was shocked. I was prepared to take whatever I could get and be happy with it. And instead I walked out with a $25 gift card. It kind of made my day. I do hope she doesn't eventually get in trouble because I really don't think she's doing returns correctly.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.